Okay, we're on Shabbat, Perek Bet, Mishnah Bet. We're continuing in our study of the second chapter of Shabbat in Bameh Madlikin, the chapter called Bameh Madlikin. The Mishnah says, Ein madlikin b'shemen tzreifa b'yom tov. You're not allowed to use shemen tzreifa. Remember the last Mishnah we learned, shemen tzreifa was truma, shemen zayit of truma, olive oil of truma that became tameh. It has to be burned. That's why it's called shemen tzreifa. So we learned, so the Bartanura is noting, hey, did we learn in the last Mishnah? It says, lo b'shemen tzreifa. So he points out, he says, the reason is, Tamed matnitin kamar le'el is telling us what the Mishnah before meant. Ma tam t'nando lo b'shemen tzreifa. Why did it say in the last Mishnah not shemen tzreifa? We don't light shemen tzreifa on Yom Tov. She'ein sorfim kachim b'Yom Tov. We don't burn kachim on Yom Tov. Okay, Rabbi Shmuel Omer. Rabbi Shmuel says, Ein madlikin b'itran v'nei kavod haShabbat. You're not allowed to light with itran. What is itran? Is the leftover from zefet. Zefet is tar. Okay, so one of them itran is tar and one is zefet. One is pitch. Here I found a picture. You have pine, Aleppo pine. Okay, and Rabbi Felix. This is from Rabbi Felix's book on the Otzara Chochma. Okay, we have an eitz shemen. Okay, we have a pine tree, and from the eitz shemen, from this pine tree, they had itran and zefet. One is pitch and one is tar. And from there, we call tar is really called pine tar. Okay, and then they had pitch, which is another kind of resin, etc., etc. So you're not allowed to use those for lighting on Shabbat because they stink. Okay, and therefore, one second, itran. Where am I? You're not allowed to use this itran. And we said the itran was the psolat azef. It was the remainder after you made the pitch that was left over, and you wanted to light it because you could light it. If you've ever tried to light like a pine stick on in your campfire, you know that like it'll light, but it'll pop and whatever. It won't be so good. The Chachamim say you can light with any kind of oil. Shemen shumshemin, sesame oil. Shemen agozim, nut oil. Shemen tzinonot, radish oil. It was made from the roots of radishes. Shemen dagim, with fish oil. Shemen pakuot. Shemen pakuot is, let's see what the Bartanura says, dilat midbarit. It's a gourd from the desert. And then we go back to the Mishnah. Be'itran u'beneft. He says you can use the itran. You can use this pine pitch, and you can also use neft. You're allowed to use the neft, kind of like an oil, I guess. Neft today is oil. Okay, and it's a min zefedu. It's a kind of pitch. It's white, lavan ve'rechora, and it stinks. So even though it stinks, it lights okay. So therefore, the Chachamim said you can use it. Okay, so. You can't say, or the Tanakama says you couldn't use all these oils because of Kabod Shabbat, Itran. The pine, it really smells. And the Chachamim said you could use all of them, including Itran and Neft, including these pine byproducts that they would make from the tree, even though they would stink, but at least you'd have light for Shabbat. And I think that the idea was that it was too much to ask people not to use the byproducts of the trees that they had available. Rabbi Tarfon says, Ein madlikin ele b'shemen zayit bilvad. You're not allowed to light. The only thing you can use is shemen zayit. So it's very interesting. I was like, where in the world would that come from? Where would you have halacha that why would Chazal make a din that you're only allowed to light with shemen zayit? So I saw a really, really fascinating article that I found on the website of, let's see if I can find it, on the website of not of the portal Daf Yomi. I think I might have closed it. I saw a really fascinating article that I saw on the website of Neot Kedumin. And this woman wrote an article and she said that Rabbi Tarfon's position, very much reminiscent of the idea of the Shemen Zayit. Rabbi Tarfon lived in the time of the Merid Bar Kochva, the rebellion of Bar Kochva, and she felt that Rabbi Tarfon was trying to remind the people of Zeichel HaMikdash, and therefore, in order to have at least a Zeichel of the menorah, the Beit HaMikdash that was destroyed, therefore, Ein Madikin El B'Shemen Zayit Bilvad. You can only use olive oil, and because only olive oil was, of course, used in the Beit HaMikdash. So the Gemara, this is the Gemara in Shabbat Taf Chavav. The Gemara says, okay, Rabbi Tarfon Omer Ela Ein Madikin El Shemen Zayit Bilvad. Amar Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri al Raglav ve'Amar. So Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri stood up and said, Ma Yasu Anshei Bavel She'en Lahem Ela Shum Shemini. What would the people of Babylonia do? They only have sesame oil. Uma Yashu Anshei Madai She'en Lahem Ela Shemen Egozim. What do the people of Madai do if they only have an egozim? Uma Yasu Anshei Alexandria She'en Lahem Ela Shemen Tzinonot. And Alexandria and in Egypt, all they have is radish oil. Uma Yasu Anshei Kaputkia, and the people of Kaputkia, En Lahem Lo Kach Lo Kach Ela Neft. What should the people of Kaputkia do? Ela We can't make these gzeirot, Rabbi Tarfon. You can only use what the Chachamim said. When they said you can't light, then those are things you can't light. And umadlikin b'shem and dagim will be itran. So therefore, what's interesting is, according to the Gemara, this Chachamim Matirim B'chol Hashmarim B'shem and Shumshimin, etc., was a direct reaction to Rabbi Tarfon saying, only olive oil. What do you mean only olive oil? They have a gozim in this place and Shumshimin in that place. You can light with whatever you have. And Rabbi Tarfon's idea of En Malikin B'Shem and Zayid Bilvad was a nice idea for Eretz Yisrael if you have it. But to say that that's the only thing you can use is too much for Am Yisrael. Maybe for us nowadays, though, the message is, if we have Shem and Zayid, so we should reignite and re-enlist the idea of En Malikin B'Shem and Zayid if you have it, because the idea of Zecher L'Migdash is certainly relevant. Stop here. If you have any comments or questions, please email me at arspolter@gmail.com. We'll dedicate this learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.